When you're alone and too tired even to turn on any of your devices, you let yourself linger in a past stacked among your pillows. Usually you are nestled under blankets and the house is empty. Sometimes the moon is missing, and beyond the windows the low gray ceiling seems approachable. Its dark light dims in degrees depending on the density of clouds, and you fall back into that which gets reconstructed as metaphor. The root is often associative. You smell good. You're 12, attending St. Philip and James School on White Plains Road, and the girl sitting in the seat behind asks you to lean to the right during exams so she can copy what you have written. Sister Evelyn is in the habit of taping the hundreds and the failing grades to the coat closet doors. The girl is Catholic with waist-length brown hair. You can't remember her name. Mary, Catherine. You never really speak except for the time she makes her requests, and later when she tells you, you smell good and have features more like a white person. You assume she thinks she is thanking you for letting her cheat and feels better cheating from an almost white person. Sister Evelyn never figures out your arrangement, perhaps because you never turn around to copy Mary Catherine's answers. Sister Evelyn must think these two girls think a lot alike, or she cares less about cheating and more about humiliation, or she never actually saw you sitting there. Certain moments send adrenaline to the heart, dry out the tongue, and clog the lungs. Like thunder, they drown you in sound. No, like lightning, they strike you across the larynx. Cough. After it happened, I was at a loss for words. Haven't you said this yourself? Haven't you said this to a close friend who early in your friendship, when distracted, would call you by the name of her black housekeeper? You assumed you were the only black people in her life. Eventually, she stopped doing this, though she never acknowledged her slippage. And you never called her on it. Why not? And yet, you don't forget. If this were a domestic tragedy, and it might as well be, this would be your fatal flaw, your memory vessel of your feelings. Do you feel hurt because it's the all black people look the same moment, or because you are being confused with another after being so close to this other? An unsettled feeling keeps the body front and center. The wrong words enter your day like a bad egg in your mouth, and puke runs down your blouse, a dampness drawing your stomach in toward your rib cage. When you look around, only you remain. Your own disgust at what you smell, what you feel, doesn't bring you to your feet. Not right away, because gathering energy has become its own task, needing its own argument. You're reminded of a conversation you had recently comparing the merits of sentences constructed implicitly with yes and, rather than yes, but. You and your friend decided that yes and attested to a life with no turnoff, no alternative routes. You pull yourself to standing. Soon enough, the blouse is rinsed. It's another week. The blouse is beneath your sweater, against your skin, and you smell good. The rain this morning pours from the gutters, and everywhere else it is lost in the trees. You need your glasses to single out what you know is there, because doubt is inexplorable. You put on your glasses. The trees, their bark, their leaves, even the dead ones, are more vibrant wet. Yes, and it's raining. Each moment is like this. Before it can be known, categorized as similar to another thing, and dismissed, it has to be experienced. It has to be seen. What did he just say? Did she really just say that? Did I hear what I think I heard? Did that just come out of my mouth, his mouth, your mouth? The moment stinks. Still, you want to stop looking at the trees. You want to walk out and stand among them. And as light as the rain seems, it still rains down on you. This next piece is a piece that was told to me by someone else about someone else. And so whenever I see this other person now, because they're in the world with me, I'm always interested in what he is thinking. You're in the dark, in the car, watching the black tarred street being swallowed by speed. He tells you his dean is making him hire a person of color when there are so many great writers out there. You think, maybe this is an experiment, and you are being tested or retroactively insulted, or you have done something that communicates this is an okay conversation to be having. Why do you feel comfortable saying this to me? You wish the light would turn red or a police siren would go off so you could slam on the brakes, slam into the car ahead of you, fly forward so quickly both your faces would suddenly be exposed to the wind. As usual, you drive straight through the moment with the expected backing off of what was previously said. It is not only that confrontation is headache-producing, it is also that you have a destination that doesn't include acting like this moment isn't inhabitable, hasn't happened before, and the before isn't part of the now as the night darkens and the time shortens between where we are and where we are going. When you arrive in your driveway, you turn off the car. You remain behind the wheel another 10 minutes. You fear the night is being locked in and coded on a cellular level, and want time to function as a power wash. Sitting there staring at the closed garage door, you are reminded that a friend once told you there exists the medical term John Henryism for people exposed to stresses stemming from racism. They achieve themselves to death trying to dodge the buildup of erasure. Sherman James, the researcher who came up with the term, claimed the psychological costs were high. You hope by sitting in silence, you are bucking the trend. Because of your elite status from a year's worth of travel, you have already settled into your window seat on United Airlines when the girl and her mother arrived at your row. The girl, looking over at you, tells her mother, "These are our seats, but this is not what I expected." The mother's response is barely audible. "I see," she says. I'll sit in the middle. A woman you do not know wants to join you for lunch. You're visiting her campus. In the cafe, you both order the Caesar salad. The overlap is not the beginning of anything, because she immediately points out that she, her father, her grandfather, and you all attended the same college. She wanted her son to go there as well, but because of affirmative action or minority something, she is not sure what they are calling it these days, and weren't they supposed to get rid of it? Her son wasn't accepted. You're not sure if you are meant to apologize for this failing of your alma mater's legacy program. Instead, you ask where he ended up. The prestigious school she mentions doesn't seem to assuage her irritation. This exchange, in effect, ends your lunch. The salads arrive. A friend argues that Americans battle between the historical self and the self-self. By this she means you mostly interact as friends with mutual interests and for the most part compatible personalities. However, sometimes your historical selves, her white self and your black self, your white self and her black self, arrive with the full force of your American positioning. Then you are standing face to face in seconds that wipe the affable smiles right from your mouths. What did you say? Instantaneously, your attachment seems fragile, tenuous, subject to any transgression of your historical self. And though your joined personal histories are supposed to save you from misunderstandings, they usually cause you to understand all too well what is meant. You and your partner go to see the film The House We Live In. You asked a friend to pick up your child from school. On your way home, your phone rings. Your neighbor tells you he is standing at his window watching a menacing black guy casing both your homes. The guy is walking back and forth, talking to himself, and seems disturbed. You tell your neighbor that your friend, whom he has met, is babysitting. He says, no, it's not him. He's met your friend, and this isn't that nice young man. Anyway, he wants you to know he's called the police. Your partner calls your friend and asks him if there's a guy walking back and forth in front of your home. Your friend says that if anyone were outside, he would see him because he is standing outside. You hear the sirens through the speakerphone. Your friend is speaking to your neighbor when you arrive home. The 4 police cars are gone. Your neighbor has apologized to your friend and is now apologizing to you. Feeling somewhat responsible for the actions of your neighbor, you clumsily tell your friend that the next time he wants to talk on the phone, he should just go in the backyard. He looks at you a long minute before saying he can speak on the phone wherever he wants. Yes, of course, you say. Yes, of course. When the stranger asks, why do you care? You just stand there staring at him. He has just referred to the boisterous teenagers in Starbucks as niggers. Hey, I am standing right here. you responded, not necessarily expecting him to turn to you. He is holding the lidded paper cup in one hand and a small paper bag in the other. They are just being kids. Come on, no need to get all KKK on them, you say. Now there you go, he responds. The people around you have turned away from their screens. The teenagers are on pause. There I go, you ask? Feeling irritation begin to rain down. Yes. And something about hearing yourself repeating this stranger's accusation in a voice usually reserved for your partner makes you smile. A man knocked over her son in the subway. You feel your own body wince. He's okay. But the son of a bitch kept walking. She says she grabbed the stranger's arm and told him to apologize. I told him to look at the boy and apologize. Yes, and you wanted to stop. You want the child pushed to the ground to be seen, to be helped up, to be helped to his feet, to be brushed off by the person that did not see him, has never seen him, has perhaps never seen anyone who is not a reflection of himself. The beautiful thing is that a group of men began to stand behind me like a fleet of bodyguards, she says, like newly found uncles and brothers. And finally, this last piece was told to me by a friend who lives in Northern California. And those of you who know about Northern California, it's supposed to be the land of generous, open-minded, free-thinking people. And so when she told me this story, I couldn't believe it. It was one of the few stories told to me that I was like, no way. The other piece of it is I am a great believer in therapy. I think we're all fucked up. And I think that we need as much help as we can get. And so if there's a line for therapy, I sign up. The new therapist specializes in trauma counseling. You have only ever spoken on the phone. Her house as a side gate that leads to a back entrance she uses for patients. You walk down a path bordered on both sides with deer grass and rosemary to the gate, which turns out to be locked. At the front door, the bell is a small round disc that you press firmly. When the door finally opens, the woman standing there yells at the top of her lungs, "Get away from my house! What are you doing in my yard?" It's as if a wounded Doberman Pinscher or a German Shepherd has gained the power of speech. And though you back up a few steps, you manage to tell her you have an appointment. You have an appointment? She spits back. Then she pauses. Everything pauses. "Oh," she says, followed by, "Oh, yes, that's right, I'm sorry. I am so, so sorry." Thank you very much.
Wow.